Welcome to Better with Art. I'm Melinda, and I'm here to encourage you to reclaim your creativity and establish a healthy habit of creative self-care with one small art prompt per week that can be done in an art journal or on paper if you don't have one. If you are looking for an art journal like this to get started with my simple form of art journaling, there will be a link in the description. This one is still the most cost-effective option I have found. I love the paper, and it is heavy enough weight and hot pressed so the pages are smooth. I love the texture of cold pressed, but it is terrible for markers. This week you will need 3 Sharpie or Sharpie type markers in flower colors or whatever colors make you happy. We are revisiting the 52-week art journal journey week 36 project, which in large part had the goal of getting us into flow with some repetitive art making. We're doing some shapes, we're doing some lines, we're going to color some things in. My shapes were much further apart last time, but I decided to try something a little different. There will be a link in the description if you would like to check out last year's video with its version of this project. My daughter also did a round of it with me in that video. So our first step is just to draw some blobs. As I said, we are making flowers, but these, don't think about flowers when you're drawing these shapes, because these shapes have pretty much nothing to do in the shape of our flowers. These colored markers are the Amazon version of Sharpie and one of my beloved black Sharpies. You can find links to those in the description also. And yes, they are affiliate links, associate links. If you use one of my links and make a purchase, I will make a small commission, which will not affect your price, but will give me a few cents toward supporting my sharing my healthy art making practice with others. So thank you very much if you choose to do so. I've kind of worked myself in a corner with 3 colors, so maybe I'll grab another one. Well, with 3 colors, with the way I chose to do it this time, different from last time. So yeah, I think I will grab another color. Like I said, just have some fun, relax into drawing some blobby shapes. After our blobby shapes, we will do some repetitive line or shape making. Lines were the original project, and yeah, if you want to get lost in flow, that's a good one. But again, do what feels good to you at the moment. Don't get caught up in what it should look like, because what it should look like is however it turns out. Random blobby shapes. Now in each of your shapes, we're going to draw lines or a very simple repeated motif. And again, it's not about how it looks as much as how it feels and how it gives your brain a chance to relax. your brain and the rest of you. But as I talk about so often, one of the benefits of creative self-care, art making, and finding flow is that sometimes when we stop thinking so hard about things, stop trying to find solutions or answers, we allow ourselves to find them when we're not stressing about them. Oh, wow, I just noticed how bad that shadow is. I apologize for my lighting. As I've repeatedly said, one of these days I'm actually going to finish getting my new studio set up and hopefully get some of these issues better dealt with. Tell you what, those shadows are making it difficult for me too. But as I encourage you, I will focus on the art making. This marker is interesting how it goes down more neon and then turns a bright but gentler shade of orange. I am very much looking forward to spring getting more of a foothold where I live. I'm looking forward to more flowers and definitely warmer temperatures. We're not getting a lot of sun right now either. A lot of cloudy days, damp, rainy, dreary, cloudy days that are also very chilly, so it just makes it feel all the colder and wetter, miserabler. You may or may not have been around here long enough to know that I have a penchant for making up words if I don't find English sufficient. Because there are so many things that it would be cool if they had words, and there are some things that do have words that most of us just don't know. Never can be quite sure what will come out of my mouth during these videos. Now that I've gotten into this format of just turning on the camera and doing the project and saying what comes to mind. Maybe not everything that comes to mind though, because, well, not everything that comes to my mind would necessarily be beneficial to say out loud. That's not really the quite word. Well, I mean, yeah, that works, but and here we go with Melinda continuing to talk when she doesn't know what to say. And as I talked about in last week's video, when I'm doing these relaxing art projects that can help our minds reach that flow stage or just, relax, sometimes my brain disengages from my ability to speak coherently because, well, it just wants to enjoy the relaxation. I don't know how things are for you right now, but I do know that a lot of people are carrying a lot of stress about a lot of things. And I hope that I can remind you to take the time to find some peace in art making. Low pressure art making, that it's about the making more than what is made. It's not the product, it's the process. And the process can be so amazingly therapeutic and re-energizing, and I will probably never get to the end of repeating how beneficial it was for me to find the 100-day project in 2022. and how it's led me to not only my Better with Art videos, but reclaiming my identity as an artist, giving me back my understanding that art making is a vital part of my identity, and giving me the confidence to not just accept that, but publicly proclaim it. To share my art. And not just art I'm proud of, but, well, I can be proud of all of it in a way, but not just art I can point to as, I'm not articulating this well. There is art that I'm putting out that is art that I look at as, let's call it working artist art. This art is anybody's art. This is the art that I want to share with you to say, make the art. If you're wired to make it, make it. You need to. It's good for you. We all need to be exercising our creativity in ways that are meaningful to us and ways that we enjoy, or we're not as healthy as we could be and we would be. I'm struggling to maintain my train of thought. But that's okay. You will either give me grace for that or you won't. And, well, your opinion doesn't change the value of what I'm offering. And for you who are insecure with your art making, what you consider skill or lack thereof, you need to remember that too. No one's opinion dictates the value of your art making. Better with Art is designed to focus on the process and how it affects us and helps us grow and be all we were created to be. And the benefit of an art journal is its privacy. It is meant to be a place where you can experiment and express yourself without concern of what others will think. I put my art journal art out there for you, the one who finds value in being reminded that it's not a waste of time to take time to make art. And no matter how famous or successful a working artist may be or have been, no one is universally loved. No one's style is universally loved. And historically, famous artists, well, too many of them became famous after they weren't around to enjoy it. If you love your art, and even if you don't love your art, if you love making it, that's its value. And I think your art's pretty dang special. So keep making it. And regardless of what you ever do or don't do with your art, your artistic ability, or what you consider the lack thereof, it's valuable, it's important. this line making, this mark making, this shape making, and this shape, I'm not super enjoying. And though I like to carry a theme over, I'm finding it way too distracting. So, I don't know. I'll try to keep with something similar. This is definitely more relaxing. So, yes, do what works for you. I am so glad that you have taken the time to watch my video this far, and I hope it has inspired you to take time for art. We haven't really gotten too far into what the actual project will end up looking like. Sometimes we just need to hear and be reminded that we need to take the time. And if that's where you are today, that's what brought you here, that's what you didn't know you needed to hear today, I'm glad you're here. And I am grateful for the opportunity to remind you to take some time to make some art. I have been trying to make sure my videos run in such a way that it's a project anyone who watches it could do in 10 to 15 minutes. More like 15 usually, probably. I have no idea where I am with my time though. But my next step is some more lines. You want to do wavy lines. Sort of just ignore the pictures in the background, all the color, and just make some lines, wavy lines, across or down your page one way and then the other way. For some reason, my brain is getting all caught up in vertical versus horizontal based on which way the book is supposed to be oriented. So with my book placed horizontally, I started with vertical lines and then went horizontal. But yeah, my brain sometimes gets caught up in unnecessary minutia. And sometimes my mouth just keeps saying it anyway. But anyway, the next thing we need to do is find a spot roughly in the center-ish of our sections and draw flower petal type shapes to the edges of what aren't boxes, but that's the word that's coming to mind. And not being sure of how much time I have and how much time you have, I'll show you what we do with these. Of course, I'm using the edge of the page here, but I've gone over the edge of the page there, so I'm not going to get caught up on that right now because, well, it's the process, not the product. All right, so one reason you wouldn't want to just color the whole thing now is it's good to have your next one done and not be distracted. But if you need to tune out, well, if you don't have enough time, you could always double speed me. I watch a lot of my videos, my art videos and things on double speed because that's just the way I'm wired. A video like this is meant to be enjoyed at its speed, and hopefully you can take time to make your art. But my other series of collage papers that may lend itself to double speeding for people like me. So I'm kind of saying, rush me, which I don't mean that either, but I don't know. If it's the difference between being encouraged to make art and not, you do what you need to do. And hopefully my funky little art journal, art making, and my words will give you the motivation, the permission, will encourage you to give yourself the permission to make the art, friend. Whoops. Well, that's not ideal. I was trying to hurry for you. So that throws things off a little. But again, process over product. But if I keep making weird areas, it can also diminish my pleasure at the process. So there's that. This is definitely a small art project that encourages you to let go of your expectations. Because if I said, hey, today we're drawing flowers, which I kind of did, but kind of didn't, this is probably not what you pictured. And maybe for you that's a good thing, and maybe for you that makes you uncomfortable, and maybe this style process you don't find ideal. But hey, it ends up looking pretty cool. And I'm thinking that probably a significant enough amount. I'm tired. I'm thinking that enough time has passed that I'm probably going to have to kind of wrap things up and maybe jump ahead to the end. So before I do that, I will say thank you if you have continued to watch this long. As I said, I greatly appreciate the opportunity to encourage you to make art and to make it for the enjoyment of it, for the benefit of it, as just a really, really healthy thing for your brain. Regular art making has made me mentally and emotionally and spiritually more healthy. So if you're someone who struggles to take the time, yeah, I was you. But once I could get past feeling like it was a waste of time because there were so many other important things to do, I couldn't keep just minimizing the benefits I knew it had on my mental and emotional health, and just accepted the reality of it. It's great for depression and anxiety. It can help lower our stress and the effect that stress has on our bodies. It can literally lower our cortisol levels. As I've said, it can help our brains not only relax so the sounds, the loudness aren't, we're not distracted by the sound of our thoughts, but it also can get our synapses firing, create new neural pathways. It's amazing, the health benefits that art can have. whether or not you consider yourself an artist, and whether or not you accept the reality of it, it has shown amazing benefits in the treatment of PTSD. Writing is another thing that can greatly benefit our mental health. And if you would like to extend your creative self-care time with a weekly writing prompt to go along with the small art prompt, you can sign up for my weekly email. You will also receive a link to join my very small but slowly growing and very encouraging private Better with Art Facebook group. We would love to have you join us. And if you ever decide to share your Better with Art small art on Instagram to encourage others to reclaim their creativity and establish a healthy habit of creative self-care, I would love it if you tagged me better.with.art. As I mentioned, I have another series going on along with Better with Art. I decided to revisit the 100-Day Project this year. The 100-Day Project that was so good for my sanity. And am doing a different type of collage paper every day for 100 days. So there is a daily short highlighting that day's paper and a weekly video on Wednesday that gives more details. I am busy with the art making. I love it. I'm a little behind on my jewelry making, and my online shop is still not up and running, but, well, I keep plugging away. So here is how we drew our different, very colorful and interesting flowers. I will be back next week with another prompt, and every day. At least for 100 days. 100 papers. I am having a lot of fun. I do try to keep my Better with Art prompts as accessible as possible. I like to use inexpensive and easy to obtain materials. It shouldn't be difficult, and it shouldn't cost a lot of money to reclaim your creativity. And we all know that art supplies, and craft supplies, and things like that, they can be pretty addictive. And before you run out and buy a lot of stuff, or you just can't go out and buy a lot of stuff, which, it's never a good idea to just buy all the stuff. Find out the types of materials and projects that light you up the most, that you get the most therapeutic benefits from, and then start investing in those areas. I understand not being able to afford things. And I didn't jump ahead because I did keep talking. As I said, I'm not really sure where I am time-wise. And if you've stuck around this long, again, I thank you. And I'm grateful that you are finding value in my words and my art. And I think that the fact that you want to be making art and you understand the value of it for your personal self-care, or you are learning to accept it, you are coming closer to accepting it, well, I think you're pretty awesome. So enjoy drawing some blobs and some repetitive simple patterns and some funky flowers and shading things in. I hope it gets you to a place where your mind can just quiet and enjoy the process.